All right, welcome everyone. Today we're digging into China's AI Plus Action Plan. And look, this isn't just some other tech policy. We're talking about a national strategy to completely rebuild its entire economy, all powered by artificial intelligence.
Okay, so let's just start with the plan's own words. The goal here is nothing short of a revolutionary leap in productivity. Now, when you hear language like that, you know this isn't about small tweaks. It's about a complete and total overhaul of how their economy works.
And the entire plan is built around this one key concept: new quality productive forces. Now, what does that actually mean? Well, put simply, it's all about using AI as the core engine to drive these huge tech breakthroughs, totally reconfigure resources, and ultimately build brand new industries from the ground up.
All right, so here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with the grand plan itself, then look at the foundations being built. After that, we'll see its impact on science and industry, and finally, we'll zoom out and place it all in the context of the global AI race.
Okay, Section 1, the AI Grand Plan. Let's dive right into the big picture. What exactly is this blueprint, and what's the core strategy here?
You know, this slide really gets to the heart of the matter. We're talking about a fundamental, massive shift in thinking. The old Internet Plus model, that was all about digitization. You know, taking a business you already had and just putting it online. But this AI Plus era, this is about complete transformation. It's about using AI to reinvent research, production, and even how the government works, right from the very core.
And they are not messing around. This vision comes with a super clear, very ambitious timeline. By 2027, they want widespread AI adoption in key sectors. Just 3 years later, by 2030, AI has to become a core pillar of the economy. And then, by 2035, the goal is a fully intelligent society. I mean, these aren't just vague goals. These are basically KPIs for an entire nation.
All right, on to Section 2, building the foundation. Because look, a plan this massive can't just be willed into existence, right? It needs a seriously powerful foundation, the engine room for the whole strategy.
And the report uses the absolute perfect analogy for this, the picks and shovels layer. Just think back to the gold rush. The people who made the real, consistent money weren't always the ones finding gold, but the ones selling the picks and shovels. Well, in the AI era, this layer is exactly that. It's the essential infrastructure that every single AI application is going to depend on.
So what does that foundation look like? Well, it rests on these key pillars. And it's a full-stack approach, covering literally everything from the AI models themselves to the massive amounts of data that feed them. But if you look closely, the real focus here is on self-reliance, building up their own homegrown compute power with domestic AI chips, and really fostering a powerful open-source ecosystem.
Okay, Section 3, AI for Science. Now we get to what might be the most mind-blowing, most revolutionary part of this entire plan: using AI to fundamentally change the very nature of scientific discovery itself.
And the impact here is just all about speed and scale. It's incredible. Take drug discovery, for example, a process that traditionally took, a decade and $1 billion? Now, it can potentially be done in just a fraction of the time and cost. We're talking about a complete paradigm shift for how R&D gets done.
And to really wrap your head around the sheer scale of this change, just look at this number. Google's AI project, Genome, recently discovered 2.2 million new crystal structures. That is more than humanity had discovered in all of history combined. I mean, that's a task that would have taken researchers centuries to do by hand.
So this paradigm shift is creating a totally new breed of company. We're talking about firms like XTelPy and Recursion. These guys aren't just sitting around writing code. They are building fully automated labs where AI designs the experiments and then robots actually carry them out. It's this incredible closed loop of constant accelerated discovery.
All right, let's move on to Section 4, remaking industry and life. So now let's see how this whole strategy aims to embed AI into every single aspect of our world, from the factory floor all the way to the phone in your pocket. So a key goal here is to foster what they're calling AI-native companies. And these aren't businesses that are just, adding an AI feature to their app. No, their entire operation is built on AI from day one. A great example is a company like Perplexity. It's not just making search a little better, it's creating a whole new way to find and synthesize information from scratch.
And in the industrial world, the market is really splitting into two distinct camps. On one side, you've got the giants. Think Siemens, Microsoft. And they're building these broad operating system platforms for the smart factory of the future. But then on the other side,
You have these nimble, specialized startups solving very specific, super high-value problems, like predicting exactly when a critical part on a machine is going to fail.
Now, for us, as consumers, the goal is a massive shift in how we interact with technology. We're moving away from these passive, smart devices that just kind of sit there and respond to our commands. The future they're building is one of proactive AI agents, assistants that can actually understand our intent, anticipate what we need, and manage complex tasks for us automatically.
Okay, last section. Section 5, the Global AI Game Plan. Let's zoom back out to the global stage and see how this massive domestic plan fits into the worldwide competition over the future of AI.
So on the global stage, 3 very distinct playbooks for AI governance are emerging. You have the European Union, which is really focused on risk and protecting citizen rights. Then you have the United States, which is championing a more market-led, hands-off approach to spur innovation. And then there's China, taking a state-driven path centered on national security and development. For any company trying to operate globally, this creates a super complex, fractured regulatory map they have to navigate.
And if you look at where the money is going in that global market, you see a pretty clear trend right now. These closed, proprietary models from companies like OpenAI and Anthropic, they currently dominate enterprise spending. However, and this is a big however, the performance gap between these closed systems and the open source alternatives is shrinking, and it's shrinking fast. Which brings us to a really key strategic point.
And this is exactly why the plan's heavy focus on open source is so critical. It's not just about sharing code for the fun of it. This is a geopolitical strategy. It's about reducing reliance on proprietary Western AI models and, at the same time, building a global sphere of influence, especially with partners in the global south.
So, let's pull it all together. What should we take away from this? Well, this plan really points to 5 massive structural shifts that are coming our way, from how we do science and build factories, to the AI in our pocket, and even the very nature of global tech competition.
And at the end of the day, as all these nations around the world race to build their own AI blueprints, it all really boils down to one single, powerful question. Who is going to write the rules for our intelligent future?